Welcome to Aging Gayfully. We're about adventure, leisure, travel, being a citizen of the world, traveling to destinations, and being a part of the global community as we age and prosper in body, mind, and spirit.
Welcome to Aging Gayfully. I'm Josh.
And I am Chris. Josh, how the heck are you?
I am so good. Chris, can I start this episode off by saying that you inspired me this morning?
I did?
Why you sound so shocked?
Well, being the youngest of six, it's, I'm always, you're always got to put in your place, even in my 68 year. But I'm glad I've inspired you, but I didn't know that I did.
You did.
So tell me.
Well, I got up this morning, and usually on Sunday mornings, Amanda is still asleep. I wander downstairs, grumbling that I didn't sleep longer because I've lost the ability to sleep in. And I was sitting on the couch, waking myself up, and I said, "Self, you need to go take a walk." So I did. Now, it's supposed to rain all day, so I think I caught just that part of the day that it was clear. In fact, it started to sprinkle a little bit when I was out there. But I took a lovely morning walk, and it's all due to you, honestly.
You're making me stutter.
Okay, well, if you want to cry, that is allowed. That also leads into what I want to talk about this morning. And it's been a while since we've gotten together, and so much has happened.
Right. We've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus to think about what direction and how we want to continue with Aging Gayfully. We've got a lot of great things in the works, but this is really our introduction into video podcasts.
Oh, that's right. So hopefully you are watching us. I mean, you out there in the world are watching us on YouTube right now, seeing our lovely faces, or Chris's lovely face and my face. And
how about two baldies?
That's right. We can't stand too close together because people might
reflection.
Yeah, reflection.
We'd have to have sunglasses on because we just.
That's right. So, but it's not been. We haven't just been sitting and thinking during these few months we've been off. We've both been very, very busy. So, Chris, what have you been doing?
Well, a variety of things. One is focusing on my health and well-being.
So let's. I really want to talk about that.
It's been a top priority, and I think if we think about the spirit of Aging Gayfully, it's about taking care of self. Mm-hmm. And being a citizen of the world, and I just I don't know when it happened, but it just kind of clicked right before Christmas that I needed to make some health choices, and I needed to focus on myself. And there's tons of advisors and apps and things that you can do to make yourself fit, but you have to make that commitment to it. And I don't know, the light bulb. I think I saw a light bulb on your desk earlier. We now have props here on Aging. So the light bulb went off in my head, and it's like, I'm really, there you go. I'm real good at taking care of others, but I haven't been real good at taking care of myself. And if I want to continue to age gayfully, I need to put the effort into taking care of myself. So since right before Christmas, maybe even Thanksgiving, I'm down 30 pounds.
That is incredible.
With another 20 to go. There's been a little bumps in the road with the AFib, but I also recognize that that's going to help eliminate not totally eliminate the effects of AFib, but I can tell after losing 30 pounds that I haven't felt this good in years.
So what did you do? What was your regime?
Well, it's a couple of things. It's eat less, move more. That I did give up my favorite alcoholic beverage,
Which was what?
orange vodka, kettle orange vodka. So I
Got it.
did give that up. But I think the other thing about it is it's the mindset and what changes in us to where we can kind of flip the switch. What's the message? And for me, it was looking at some photos that, and wait a minute, I'm about 230 again. I need to do something, and probably within the next week or so, my goal weight has changed from 195 to 180 because I'm looking at it differently. I'm looking at my BMI, and I want to be in the normal BMI range. And I think the other thing that really triggered this the last time I was at the doctor's, when I saw the report. You get all your reports, and they list you as obese. I mean, that's shocking when you see it. So that's kind of propelled me. But in the same sense, we've been talking about what we're going to do with Aging Gayfully. Video is one of the things. We're talking with a wonderful organization, Men Living, about partnering. That's kind of still in the works. And I think we're just going to test the waters on this video and see where it goes.
So you definitely had a mind to you gotta slim down and be svelte for YouTube.
Yeah, I have to have my YouTube body for sure. Yeah.
For those of you who are not familiar, what does BMI stand for?
Body mass index, is BMI, and that's one of the measuring sticks of your health and well-being. And there's 3 categories: obese, overweight, and normal. And I've kind of refocused myself, and I want to be in the normal range. I don't want to be just like on the cusp of the normal range. I want to have like a 2 or a 3 point cushion per se in my BMI, because that it really translates into other things that go on with your health and well-being. And especially with me having AFib, I've had the ablation, but I've still have had some of the minor episodes, kind of like the aftershocks.
Sure.
But after losing 30 pounds, and then being told by my cardiologist within the last month that this is going to help tremendously as you continue to age, especially in and around the AFib. And I know in the last month I've had fewer episodes of the what I call the rumblings of the heart.
Yeah.
So it comes back to self-care, and I've gotten into a routine that seems to work for me, and that's kind of what we encourage everybody: is find the routine that works for you, and do your best to kind of stick to it.
So obviously there's a physical difference. Have you noticed any emotional difference, any intellectual difference, clarity of mind, better attitude? Have you noticed any of that?
I think that's all. It all is encompassed. One gets the other. You're encouraged to, anytime you have something that is a positive, where you have a positive result from something that you have done, then it just kind of shifts into other areas of your life. I think one of the other things that especially has been prominent over the last 3 months is I don't worry about things that don't get done. I do uh, prioritize my own health and well-being, and you get to the things that maybe aren't as important as they once were. And I think that also comes with aging, that you tend to prioritize, and but you prioritize what's best for you, and that's your health and well-being. If you don't have your health and well-being, then you don't really have anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what counts.
Right?
And it's a real shame that it takes some people a long time to realize that.
Well, but I think we find that comfort zone when it's our time, and I've and I think for a lot of folks who've been overweight their life, it's kind of like that yo-yo effect. There's been times where the heaviest I've ever been was 280. And I remember what that was like. That's kind of like when I saw 230, I said, wait a minute, because it kind of gets away from you.
Sure. Well, with all of this vigor and vitality, you have gone into an exciting new career.
I have. I've gotten. I think there's always there's a thespian in me. I've always kind of thought that. But
make sure you enunciate
I wanted to
that.
make sure I wanted to enunciate that properly on Aging Gayfully. But again, it's kind of like following your dreams. And I've wanted to dip my toe into acting, and I've been able to get a couple of small gigs, and I ventured into the voiceovers and commercials. So that's been keeping me quite busy. It's quite exciting to have a whole different industry looking at your talents and skills and kind of reaffirming things that you might have thought about yourself, but really, whether you were afraid or what would be holding you back from doing something that you really wanted to do that might seem out of the norm. Well, then I started to dip my toe in it, and goodness, I'm getting asked to audition for small roles because I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am going to say it, because I have the senior look that some of these folks are looking for.
That's very
the
good.
beard does. Yep. The beard and the stash and the bald head does. There are roles for our age category out there. It's just a matter of finding them.
So did you stumble upon this acting thing because you were doing voiceovers, and then you did some commercials for some video commercials? Was that the progression? And then
it was kind of the progression, right? And I've applied for a variety of small roles, and as soon as you get one, and then you have the credits, and people can see that you've been on a set. Directors and producers see that you've been on a set, and they're kind of willing to take another look. And that's kind of like what my bio says for folks. I said, take a chance on me. And then I list all my accomplishments. And that was fun in and of itself. When you think about over 500 podcasts that I've done, I have a podcasting network with 1.2 million downloads. It's kind of like a mom and pop, but without the mom. And you think about all these accomplishments, and it's like, no, I'm ready for some new adventures, but I can't just sit and wait for them to come to me. I have to go and make them happen. And that's, and I say this in all kindness to you, that's kind of the spearhead of doing the Aging Gayfully, go into video with this, not only showing my talents and skills, but your talents and skills as a co-host and as an editor, and getting that additional exposure where people could recognize talent. Because the reality is most, if not all, content is going to YouTube. And while we're on all the different podcast platforms, and that's just great, but there's something about seeing the folks that are behind the microphone in front of the camera, that are delivering the message, the banter that you and I have established over the last year, and doing, I think we've got 30 episodes of Aging Gayfully, and they're well produced, they're thoughtful, they're fun, they're engaging. But really the next step is for us is to venture into the video podcast, and that's going to help as we continue to grow the brand and do the things that we really want to do.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. I want to get to this experience. You sent me pictures when you were on set, I believe in Miami, if I'm
was
not
in Miami,
incorrect.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to know what it was like for you stepping onto your first set, whether it was that one or whether it was another one. The feelings you were feeling. Paint the picture of did they greet you? Did you just kind of wander up? What did you see? What was it like for you?
It was like being like a kid in a candy store. It was it was the weekend of my 68th birthday. And as I told the director, you gave me the best birthday present I could ever have had, to give this old dude an opportunity to be in your film. It's like, and I kind of teased her a little bit, never, always give an old dude or dudette a chance, because we've got the talent and experience to do these things. You just got to have a chance. But when I walked into the set, I think what was amazing about this was seeing movies and productions from the inside.
Right.
And we all watch TV. We have movies, we have productions that we enjoy. But how many times do you get the opportunity to see what goes on behind the scenes, with the setups, with the different takes, with the lighting, with the staff? I mean, it was a full-fledged production with lighting crew, sound crew, makeup, wardrobe. It really put into perspective the hard work that goes into putting these scenes together. And then just one of the scenes that I was in, we did 4 or 5 takes for that scene just to get the cadence right. Whether like the scene I'm talking about is where I'm walking past the 2 main characters, and I have a comment to say to them, and it's like 2 words. I mean, that was my debut, my speaking debut. But just in doing that repetitively, time and time again, to get it to the point to where the director said, well, that's a take. It's just, it put into perspective how hard it is to put these programs together, these film projects together. There's mounds and mounds of content that was created over 3 or 4 days that they have to go through and edit, and to put the story together. And watching how all the crew on, how they collaborated and supported each other. I mean, it was like a fine-tuned comb. And the actors are just kind of the conduit. They're, while they're making the story real, it's the people behind the scenes that are really making the story. They're the ones making you look good. And I was like a kid in a candy store. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next opportunity.
What is your Hollywood dream? What role, what type of project would you like to star in or to be in? I mean, maybe I don't know. Do you want to be a star, or will you be happy being a supporting player? What is
I,
your
I,
dream?
I, you know, I'm real comfortable being a supporting player. I don't. While I'm taking some lessons again and some voice lessons, you want to also be realistic uh, in knowing that you're walking onto a set with a bunch of professionals, and you want to be mindful of that. And of course, I'm going to look at any opportunity that comes my way, but I'm also going to be mindful of where my talents and skills are in this. And I don't want to, I want to stretch myself for sure in order to be able to grow, but I also want to be cognizant of the sense of where do I really fit? Where do my talents and skills fit? And continue to let it grow. So,
But I do want you to dream a little bit. Like what sounds like just a great part you could get, or the type of film that you would enjoy being in. Are we going to see you in a science fiction flick or period drama? What do you think you would enjoy doing? Dream a little bit.
I actually, I'd be really good as a dry comedian.
Jack Benny, Johnny Carson type.
Yeah. One of the actors I've always liked, and he's since passed away, was oh God, why is I just had his name? Um,
Hey, you're going to get it at 2 a.m. in the morning, so don't
at
worry
2
about it.
a.m. Charles
Just,
Grodin.
oh gosh, yes. Oh, he was funny, that
He
guy.
was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martin Mull.
Uh-huh.
Those folks that have that kind of like that dry sense of humor. And knowing that I could be very spontaneous. That's a talent that I've always had
Hmm.
in conversation.
Yeah.
Now you certainly can't go off script, but you want to be mindful of your talents and skills. But
Mm.
the other thing, I'd like to do something with adventure, especially
Hmm.
in and around travel,
Yeah.
exploration. The opportunities are endless. It's a matter of putting yourself out there, and I think that's like one of my mottos that we've talked about often is stepping into your comfort zone.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that I think is prevalent in aging gayfully is stepping into your comfort zone. And people say, "Well, I thought it's stepping out of your comfort zone." And I say, "Well, no, I beg to differ. Let's step into our comfort zone and do the things that we've always wanted to do without any hesitation, without any worry about criticism or condemnations." And there's a lot of that going on in society today. But we could step into our comfort zone and put all that aside.
It's funny because one of the things you said is that you have to be mindful of your talents and you have to be realistic. And I like the idea that this is really letting folks know that when we talk to people about you need to be realistic, oftentimes we're telling them you need to tone down your expectations. But I would say also some people need to be realistic and understand that they can do some of these things. That's why this episode is called The Power of I Can, because you said I can get healthy. You
I can get
said
healthy.
you
Mm-hmm.
said I can get into voiceovers and then commercials and then acting. So when we talk about realism, we are often not a good judge of what realistic is, both on the negative side, but then also on the positive side.
Mm.
And that's another thing I think that Aging Gayfully is about, is this idea that yeah, you can
You
age
can.
gayfully.
Yes, you can.
And so
And
you're a walking example of that, my friend, right now.
well, it's it's certainly a balancing act. I'm in the midst of caregiving again, which is thankfully I have the experience, but I also recognize that my self care and self compassion is a big proponent of the current caregiving situation that I find myself in, and I do it with open arms because that's a part of my makeup. But
Mhm.
what's changed is, the focus on what you need to do, what I need to do in order to be healthy in body, mind, and spirit,
Mhm.
and uh, that propels us to step into our comfort zone.
Well, I am excited about us doing that together. I'm excited about these projects that you've got going on. Do you want to talk a little bit about your movie project?
Yes, so we'll tease the audience with since the last time we've chatted, we do have a production company who wants to take on the film project, and this is we've been going back and forth since December, January, February, and now we're into March, and we're doing some updates to the script, but all indicators show that this production company wants to take on the project. We just need to tweak the script a little bit, and we're in the midst of doing that. And as I have said to my partners in this project, and I say this in all kindness here, I will I will never give up getting the film project to production. In fact, I'll continue to talk about this up until the day they throw me in the incinerator.
Okay. Well, remind the folks, or maybe we have new listeners, remind them what this film project is even
Yeah, the film
about.
project, you can check it out online. It's the mygreenfolderfilm.com. And it is a true to life story of my deceased partner, Richard, and I uh, dealing with the American healthcare system and legal system before marriage equality became law. And if you don't think this is an important issue for everybody, then I suggest that you go and check out the mygreenfolderfilmproject.com and read about our story. Our story is timeless, and things happen in their own time, and that's why our film project is about to be set to production, because it speaks specifically about current events that are happening today with an experience that happened over 10, 11, 12 years ago. History does repeat itself. And the My Green Folder Film Project really demonstrates the importance of not just equality, but love, care, and commitment. Because when you get right down to it, we're kind of all the same. But there seems to be this pull to make us different. And the My Green Folder Film Project demonstrates that love, care, and commitment really is the essence of aging gayfully.
That's another thing I'm looking forward to seeing that on the screen, taking my family to go see it. So I can't wait for that to happen. And this is a little teaser for our next episode. We will dive into marriage equality and what that means specifically to us in our next episode. So I would encourage you to subscribe wherever you get this show and tune in for that.
Yeah, and well, marriage equality will be the kind of the topic, but the if you just take the word equality and what that means to all of us, such as we.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very good. Okay. Well, before we wrap up here, I do want to let you all know that I've got some new projects going too.
Yeah,
I've
well,
not
it can't be all about me.
I've
So
not
let's.
just been laying around here. I've started a new podcast with a new friend of mine named Brent Ransom. It is called the Sawgrass Group Leadership Academy. Brent is a very accomplished leadership guru. He's the guy up on the mountain that executives and CEOs go to learn a little bit more about how to do that better. And so we are going to have this show that will kick off in the middle of April, and really him giving very practical tips on how to be a better leader in the business world. So that's fun. That's exciting. It's real conversational. It's definitely not going to be dry or boring. So I would encourage you.
Well, nothing you do is dry or boring.
This is what I keep telling myself.
Right.
So look for that. The Sawgrass Group, Leadership Academy podcast. I got to learn to say that so that goes willingly and quickly off my tongue there. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
And I think you should also let our viewers and listeners know about your poems.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm writing daily poetry as a form of therapy, I guess. And I'm posting that online. Yeah, it's fun to play with words. And it's fun because there are no rules in poetry. Poetry is the jazz of the written word. So I can do whatever I want. Who cares? So I love that.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
So if you want to, again, check out all that Aging Gayfully has to offer, Chris, what should they do?
AgingGayfully.com. You can email us at yesiam@AgingGayfully.com. And we're going to be venturing into guests and some additional podcasts here. So it's a good time to get involved.
Love it. And I will go ahead and put in a pitch. Go to familiarwilsonsmedia.com if you want to check out the Sawgrass Group podcast I was telling you about, or any of the other things that we got going on. All right, Chris, last words before we send the folks off to Age Gayfully.
Never give up on your dreams.
And never forget the power of I can.
And never forget good to be with you, Josh.
All right, good to see you. See y'all next week.